Hello, everybody, and thank you so much for joining me today. I am Jim Coppinger with ZenTek Consultants, and today we're going to be talking about the fast manipulation of CAD objects using BricsCAD, the hottest new CAD drafting system out there on the market today. Just some ground rules for today's presentation. Because it's public forum, I do keep everybody's microphones and telephones muted, but you guys can make use of either the question box or the chat box to ask questions. I'm not going to pause while I'm doing the presentation here to answer those in real time, but I have a lot of time at the end of the session here to answer any questions that come in. So just type them in, and when I get to the end, I'll be happy to answer those for you. All right, so with that said, let's go ahead and get into today's presentation. All right. So for those of you who haven't worked with us before, we're ZenTek Consultants, and we work primarily in the AEC and manufacturing community. And we're here to help you guys with not just BricsCAD, but with really all of your software development needs, right? Whatever it is you need, whether it's training, support, configuration, consultation, chances are we can help you out. So we hope you guys will take the time to visit our website and see all the great things we can offer for you. So let's get into today's presentation. So the first thing we're talking about here is, like I said, editing made easy with BricsCAD, right? And the idea is that what we're looking for here is in BricsCAD a better CAD design tool, something that lets you move faster, add your edits in a more simplified manner, get things done much more quickly than you would with the big name, you know who we mean, those big name CAD systems that are out there on the market today, right? So what is BricsCAD, right? So we like to call it a better way to CAD, right? So, the big thing with BricsCAD is it's a CAD system that uses standard native DWG files, right? The ones that you're used to in AutoCAD, exact same file with no conversion, okay? And it also uses all the same basic commands, macros, Lisp utilities, pretty much all the same tools, features, and capabilities that you have in AutoCAD, right? But it's got some additional benefits to it. Number one, it's one package that can be upgraded through all of these various setups, BIM and Communicator and Sheet Metal, to do all of your drafting and design work in one software system instead of having to buy a suite of uber expensive design packages, right, that you may or may not need, or you need one once a year, but you still have to pay tens of thousands of dollars every year to maintain them. We can buy one system and just upgrade as we need, okay? And the other thing that's really important here, particularly we're going to talk about today on the 2D side and the CAD drafting side, is that BricsCAD is just a better system. It's been upgraded, advanced, whereas those larger CAD systems out there are really trying to push you and force everybody into those big, expensive 3D BIM modeling packages, which are great when you need them, but 90% of the projects don't need them, okay? So I know everybody's gonna, look at me with a squinted eye here and go, Jim, why should I be thinking about changing my CAD system? We spent years figuring out what we have. I don't want to change CAD midstream here and lose everything we've done. Well, like I said, number one, it does everything in exactly the same way. So the learning curve in moving to BricsCAD is almost non-existent, okay? The other benefits here are in terms of price and licensing, okay? BricsCAD is offered with perpetual licensing, meaning you can buy it once and keep it for 4 or 5 years and only upgrade when you need to, right? You can choose the old style, just like we used to do back with AutoCAD with, buy it once, annual maintenance for regular upgrades. You can do that still, right? And that's their business model. They don't intend to change that, right? And the great thing is that perpetual license is usually half the cost of its equivalent Autodesk product. In other words, you're going to pay once for what 50% of what Autodesk is charging you year after year after year. Right? And like I said, it'll take all your tools, all your Lisp, everything that you have, right, including your base drawing files, and they're completely compatible. So you open it up, you work on it in BricsCAD, you save it, you send it to an architect or an engineer who's working in AutoCAD, they edit it, save it, comes back to you. There's no file conversion, no loss of data. It's the same exact file format, right? So that's what BricsCAD is, that's what it does. So let's talk about the tools we wanted to focus on today, right? Which is really getting into working with a tool that we call the Manipulator. And I just like to show these and do these little presentations on 1 or 2 quick, simple to use tools to show you that BricsCAD is not just another CAD system and another way of working, it's a better way of working. It gives you tools that make your day-to-day operations move much smoother, much more quickly. So let me show you what I mean. I'm gonna jump over here into BricsCAD. All right, just a basic floor plan here, and what I have in here are just a real basic floor plan, and I got a little mini three-dimensional wall plane over it, so we can talk about three-dimensional objects in a little bit. But the idea here is, when you're dealing with anything, right, inside of a CAD system, whatever it is you want to work with, right, basic manipulation of entities, move, mirror, rotate, lengthen, change positions, all those basic tools. You have to learn where those things are, right? You have to learn either up here on the drop-down menus, or you have to go up and remember which of these ribbon panels they're on, or you have to remember the first letter commands for all of them, and on and on. There's a learning curve. What if, right, you didn't need a learning curve? What if any item that you selected, you could just modify without even having to know commands? So what if I just took this little block here of a computer and I just pick on it? And you see what happens is you get this little triangular shaped tool. It's called the Manipulator tool, right? Just by picking any object, and it'll come up on anything, right? Whatever I pick, on lines, circles, blocks, whatever I select, I get this Manipulator tool. And all I have to do, looking here, you can kind of see exactly what's going on. So you see it's got the number of little colored grip points and bars that it's working with. So the first thing that I can do is see by default, because this is a block, it came up on the center or the insertion point of the block, but I can move that. So I can actually move this to use the corner as my control point. Okay? And then you see here I've got lengthen, up and down, radius, curves, mirror tools. I got a whole bunch of tools. So let's talk about these, right? And what you can do with these. Right? So I can move this to whatever corner I want. So if I wanted to spin or lengthen something off of this corner, say I can move the Manipulator tool using this little circular button to whichever location I need on my object. Right? And then I have a number of things. So let's start with this yellow sidebar. This is a simple move command, right? And it's great because I can just pick on this bar, and now you see I can just slide my object left or right, right? It's a horizontal move. Not only can I just move it to wherever I need it, but you'll notice up here, see how it's saying like 4'6", 4'8"? I can actually type in a distance. If I need to move it 5 feet in that direction, I just type 5 feet. It moved it exactly 5 feet, right? I'm gonna undo that, right? Same thing, and you see it moved it 5 feet from the spot that I selected, right? Wherever it is, I can go the other direction. See, this way, left or right, right? Same thing, I can hit escape, select it again, right? What if I wanna move this up or down? Same thing, I've got the bar going vertically. Do I need to move it up 5 feet, down 5 feet? I don't have to go to commands. I don't have to type and look for tools. I just click on the button and move it, right? Put in what I want, 5 feet, right there. There it is, moves it 5 feet down, right? Whatever I want. If I want to move it, from this corner up 5 feet, right? Just move it up 5 feet. Moves it right back to where we were, right? So I can do basic movement commands, okay? You'll notice when I click on the object, I also get this circular bar. This allows me to rotate, okay? So I can spin this. Again, this is where, selecting the start point of your manipulator becomes important. Maybe you want to spin it around the center of that monitor, okay? Now I can just come over here and you see, for starters, I can just do a full circle rotation just by clicking on here. And you see I can just freehand and I can spin this monitor to whatever angle I need. And you see I can even type in the degrees if I want to. If I want that at 105 degrees, I can just type 105 and it rotated it 105 degrees. Now, the other thing that's really nice about this, you'll see that at the end of the arcs here, I have these two little gray circles. I can also do included angle rotation. Instead of full angle rotation around a full 360, I can do it on a 180 plane. So I can go down or up 45, down 45 off of that central point, right? And I can do it on either side just by kicking this gray circle, and I can spin my object. So if I want to rotate that, 65 degrees, it rotates it down to 65 degrees. Then I can go in and rotate off of that 65 degree angle. See, I've got the included angle now coming off of that. Simple tools, right? Real easy to use, right? I can also go in here and you see that I get kind of a planar structure, and that lets me offset in two directions at once. And you see I can use the tab key. So if you see up here where right now it's highlighted blue, it says 2'4½", right? I can put that for 3 feet, then hit the tab key. Say it locks me to my 3 foot dimension. So I'm 3 feet away. Now I can stretch in the other direction, 3 feet. See, moves it 3 by 3 by clicking this center structure, right? The other thing that I can do here that's really, really nice, and I can always move this, by the way, there's always this base grip point where I can just click and move this to wherever I need it to be, right? But with a manipulator tool, the other thing that I get here is I get the ability to mirror a tool. So you notice at the end of each of these lines, I have these blue arrows. And when I hover over those, you see it's giving me my mirror symbol. See the two large blue arrows? So when I click here, it allows me to mirror in a separate direction. So if you see as I'm dragging this, you can see that the monitor is actually flipping, it's being mirrored, but I can measure it out a specific distance, right? Even measure, if I needed to flip this over a line that was 3 feet away, I can just type 3 feet, and you see it flips and mirrors my symbol in that direction. Same thing this way, I can go the other direction. So I can mirror it this way. Okay, so I can mirror items, rotate items, move items, all without running any commands. And it works not just in 2D, it works in full 3D. Remember, BricsCAD is a full 3-dimensional BIM and modeling system as well. Okay, so you can do full 3D and 2D controls with this. So very, very easily, I can go to an object like this, and I want you to kind of note where this little inset is on this side. So when we mirror, you can kind of see what I'm talking about. Right? And I can do the same thing just by picking on this object. You see I get my manipulator tool and it puts it at that end line, right? But I can move that. If I needed to move and control this based on this corner, I can move it to this corner. But now you'll see if you look at the controls, instead of just being the 2D flat extensions, I also have the ability to move items in all 3 directions. So I can still move this object left and right, right, if I need to, right? I can go in and I can move it forward and back, right, if I need to. I can also move it up and down as I need to, okay? So you see I can move it in all 3 planes with no problem, right? I also have the ability to rotate this in all 3 planes. Zoom back a little bit. So you see, just by hovering, you see I get the 3 arcs, 1, 2, 3 arcs. Just by clicking on this arc, I can pivot this around the center point. See, I can actually spin that right around the control point. I can go the other direction. If I need to pivot it in this plane, I can pivot it and spin it this way to whatever degree of control I need. Same thing here. If I need to pivot it along the flat plane, so that I can pivot and rotate to whatever angular structures I need. Turn off my OS, not there. Right? So I can easily do that, right? I can go in and you see that I actually have, right? Here at the bottom, I have multiple planes that I can choose. You see like kind of the boxes here. So you see if I go to the one that's on the back, I can actually move this. See, I can move both directions. See, I can move left and right off of that face plane, the front plane, okay? Same thing, right? I can go here, I can pick the right side plane. Now you see I can move it over and up using dimensions, using the tab key, right? Off of that plane. I can do it off the bottom plane, the side plane, the left, the top, any of the planes. I can move over, up, over, down in either direction just by typing the correct values on any 3-dimensional object. Makes it really, really easy to manipulate and structure your buildings or whatever parts and components you're working with, okay? Right? And like anything else, right? I can go in, right? I can do the included rotational bends. See how I can actually tilt the rotational bends to other angles, right? And then include those in the rotation, and I can rotate along that plane. So you see now I'm rotating not just in one plane, but in 2. Really advanced, but very, very simple to work with controls that we're dealing with here, okay? Very, very easy to use. I can even use the mirror commands. So again, like I said before, notice where the inset here is kind of on the right side, up in there, right? This little inset here. Just want to show you so you understand when I say when we're mirroring things, right? So if I go here, I want to mirror over this plane. When I mirror, you see as I'm moving up here, you can see that that little inset is now on the left. It's not a copy. I just want to make sure when I'm doing this, you guys can visualize, I'm actually mirroring this a set distance. So if I need to mirror that 24 feet away, see now it's flipped my walls, right? So that my inset's now on the left side of the room, okay? Right? And that's just the basic manipulator tool. When you get into more advanced setups with BricsCAD, you see that I can come in here and just by hovering, I can use their quad tool to change layers. If I need to change the layer, I need to change the colors, right? I need to get elevations and information, right? I can go to any object, right? And select it, right? To get the manipulator tool, or I can just hover over objects, or even just going out here in space and right clicking in order to get the quad tool, and dozens of others of really simplified interactive CAD tools. All right, so BricsCAD has really done a fantastic job of making sure that doing your day-to-day work doesn't require a whole lot of education and effort on your part. Anybody within a few seconds can figure out how to use the manipulator tool or how to work with any of the 3D faces and objects and all the other tools in BricsCAD. Its user interface is by far the best one out on the market today. I'm a huge, huge fan. Okay, so that was kind of what I wanted to show you today, just the basic uses of the manipulator tool. As you can see, it's a great, great little feature, right, to be able to work with here inside of BricsCAD. Right? And again, your BricsCAD comes in a number of different levels, right? The great thing is it's all one download. You download the package, it installs, it's very small, it's about 1/10 of the size of the AutoCAD installation, right? And then as you advance, if you start off going with, basic, classic, and then you need more, you need pro, then platinum, right? There are different levels. But the great thing is there's nothing else to install. You install this once and all you do is get a different license code for each of these as you need to go up the chain, so to speak. Or you can buy what we call BricsCAD Ultimate, right? Which is all of those in one, where you literally get everything, right? So again, it's the equivalent of having, if you were working in the Autodesk world, having Civil 3D, Revit, Inventor, AutoCAD, and AutoCAD Lite all in one single package for less than half the cost. Okay, great, great package. So, all right, so as I promised, I did get a couple of questions coming in here, so I'm going to take a minute here just to answer those. So I got a question from Terrence. Terrence wants to know, will it work on text objects? Yes, BricsCAD, that manipulator tool, it works on any drawn object. It doesn't matter if you pick text, lines, blocks, solids, reference files, anything at all that you create in CAD, that manipulator tool will come up on it and let you do the moving and shifting and rotating with no problem. Okay, yeah, every single type of object it works on, Terrence. And I got one other question here from Charlene. Is the manipulator in all the versions? Yes, all of the versions that I just showed you from classic all the way up through the ultimate, all of them, even the lowest price, most basic models have the manipulator tool. It's in every version of BricsCAD. It's a basic tool. So is the quad tool that we talked about. All right, so I don't see any other questions coming in. So I guess that with that, we can go ahead and wrap up today's presentation. All right, and again, we'd love the chance to work with you guys on BricsCAD to show you more. If you want to hit our website, there's a free demo, 30-day demo you can download. We've got other webinars on all the different tools, the quad tool and 3D BIM structures, and how to work with BricsCAD in a production environment. And if you want to know more, you can call us or just email us, sales@ZenTekConsultants.net. Other than that, thank you guys for joining us today, and we hope we get a chance to work with you soon. Have a great day, everybody.